Angela, the red-nosed motherfucking reindeer. As promised, today we're gonna talk about the things that I learned in therapy and coaching. If you're new here, hello, hi, I'm Angela, I'm harmless, and I've gone through therapy last year and still going through coaching ongoingly this year. The very first thing that I learned is that at the end of the day, it's all just a journey back to yourself. Because at the end of the day, you are all you have. It's not gonna be your best friend, it's not gonna be your mom, it's not gonna be your money in your bank account, it's not gonna be the businesses you own, it's not gonna be the properties, the achievements, everything you've accumulated. It's not gonna be all that. It's about how do you feel about yourself when you're by yourself. That's the thing that really matters most. Why this is so important is right now, honestly, we live in a world where people are just so distracted. People are just so superficial, unfortunately. Selfies here and there. So many people still spend the money they don't have to impress the people they don't even like. They still live somebody else's life. That's just sad because honestly, we just get one life and we don't even know if tomorrow, like, you might get COVID, you might get hit and run over by a truck and you just might die. And after that, you know, like, where's your life? That's what I learned from coaching and from therapy, that at the end of the day, this is all just helping us to our journey back to ourselves. No matter what you go through, no matter how shitty your past has been, even if you think right now that your future isn't really that bright, everything happens for a reason. And I know that sounds so cliche, but everything really does happen for a fucking reason. I look at my life right now and I'm like, okay, if my dad didn't slap me across the face and disown me, I would not be here. I would not be living this amazing life if he didn't do that. Of course, I'm still very grateful to my dad. We didn't exactly have the most perfect relationship. He's not the perfect father, but I'm still very grateful for that, because if not for that, I would not be here. I would not be living this amazing life that I'm so grateful for. That is something that, you know, like, having an energy or a life coach is going to be able to help you with, and that is what therapy is also about. It's unpacking the stories that don't serve you so that you can see them for what they are, see things as they happened. If, you know, what happened with my dad 2 years ago, where he disowned me and told me not to come to his funeral, if the story that I attach to that is that, oh my god, my life is gonna be, my life is ruined, my life is over, I'm not going to college, I'm such a loser, oh my god, then I would not be here. And I would not have the courage to explore our lives. The quality of the lives we live will also very much heavily depend on the stories that we tell ourselves. That's why it's so important to really connect to who you are and connect to your sense of identity. That leads me to the second point, which is, because at the end of the day, you are all you have, you need to realize that you are not a victim. You know, I am not a victim. I am not a victim of what happened. I am not a victim of my past. I am not a victim of the people who told me that I would not be able to make it. Because the moment you label yourself a victim, you're powerless. You're completely giving your power away to other people. Because you understand that, yes, you are not a victim, you are not a victim, you need to be able to have that sense of self-responsibility. Those experiences caused you trauma. Maybe your parents weren't necessarily the best. Maybe you grew up abused. Maybe you didn't have anything to eat when you were younger. Those are granted. But the thing is, you do not have to perpetuate and continue the cycle. You have the power to break the cycle of violence. You have the power to break the cycle of ignorance if you work on yourself. it's so important for you to take responsibility of your own emotions, of your own traumas, of your own life. I really do not like it when, baby boomers say that, oh, therapy, that's not really what we do in our generation. Like, you guys just literally, perpetuate the trauma, and you say that that's fine. And the lack of self-responsibility just kind of baffles me, and honestly pisses me off. I just don't see a lot of people taking responsibility for healing themselves. Yes, we didn't cause those things to ourselves, and yes, we just went through really horrible things, but we still have the power and the responsibility to heal ourselves, because that's when you truly claim your power back and you stop giving it away to circumstances or other people. I'm gonna stop the cycle of violence. I'm gonna stop the cycle of abuse. I'm gonna stop this pattern of scarcity and stealing and this victim mindset. I'm gonna stop all that. I'm gonna be the one in our family to break this cycle. You have trauma that's not actually yours. Sometimes the trauma that we have are passed down from the people who failed to work on themselves in the past. Okay? And yes, I understand that, not everyone has that awareness, because if you're scavenging for food, your priority is safety, your priority is your physiological needs, and you're not going to be able to really ascend to self-actualization if your need is still on the physiological side. If you already have everything that you need to survive, that you need to thrive, and you're not working on yourself, why? It's just sad, because generational trauma is kind of the shit that we carry on our shoulders, and we pass it down to the next generation. I've been told that that's not in our generation, that wasn't something that was promoted in our generation. They still fail to own up to their mess. They still fail to own up to the fact that, their words can be very toxic. How they deal with their children, how they deal with their people, how they deal with their relationships can be so toxic. And that's just sad, because not only does that erode the quality of relationship you have with yourself, that also erodes the quality of relationship you have with other people. Now that that rant is over, we can now proceed to the third thing, which is we have been fed so much bullshit as children. When we were kids, we were as crazy, we were as original as you can be. And now that we've grown up as adults, we've been fed so much bullshit that you shouldn't be creative. You should be in a job that's secure or has money. Of course, they were from very well-meaning relatives or family members, but the thing is, there are also, the conditioning that we receive from all these sources, and it's really up to us to decondition and deprogram and choose the beliefs that we have. An example of this is money. So many people have a shitty relationship with money, and that's because when they were growing up, they were told that money doesn't grow on trees, that the rich people, the people who have money, are bad people. They never become rich in their lives, even though they know that money is important and they know that money is something they want. So it's just kind of sad that most people don't even take the time to look at their conditioning and see how their conditioning actually is getting in the way of their goals and their dreams and the life that they can have if only they take the time to decondition. I'm gonna feature this book. This is the 5 a.m. Club, given to me by Maya. When most people grew up, this is what happens. Most people stay the same their entire lives, married to complacency of the ordinary and wedded to the shackles of conformity. And this usually happens when we're told in school to shut up and not keep on imagining, and we're told that we're stupid for not being able to sit down and pay attention to boring ass lectures. We're told things that murder the genius that's inside of us. Now that we're aware that we've been conditioned, it's now up to us to look at the programs that society or parents have installed and see which ones are good, which ones serve us, and which ones don't. And if it doesn't serve us, if the conditioning actually gets in the way of us being the best version of ourselves, then that conditioning has to go. So those are the things that I learned in therapy and in my coaching. I hope you guys learned some valuable nuggets. If you did, make sure to leave your favorite takeaway in the comments down below. I'd love to know what was your favorite takeaway. All right? I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you on the next video. Bye!